You showed up early. Your bags are packed to the gram, your ID is ready, your itinerary is flawless. But the moment you approach the security line, it starts. Your face scan glitches. TSA pulls your bag. You're questioned about your toothpaste. And just like that, you're no longer flying. You're stuck. Airports in 2025 aren't just busier. They're smarter, stricter, and far less forgiving. One tiny mistake, and you're flagged, delayed, fined, or denied entirely. But listen to this. None of this chaos is random. It's the result of a quiet rollout of 10 brand new airport measures that most travelers have no clue about. Measures that are already catching thousands of people off guard every single day. In the next few minutes, you'll find out how a shampoo bottle can get you grounded, why solo travelers are now being charged more, and how boarding announcements are disappearing. And if you're not prepared, even wearing the wrong shoes could trigger an AI red flag. Let's dive in. Because travel in 2025, it's not about getting to the airport early anymore. It's about staying one step ahead of the system. 1. AI face scans are now your boarding pass. You walk up to the gate. No need for ID, no need for a boarding pass. Just smile into the camera and keep walking. That's the future. And in 2025, it's already here. Major airports across the US, Europe, and Asia now use biometric boarding. Your face is scanned and matched to your passport, boarding info, and even your baggage claim. But that's not all. This technology isn't as seamless as it sounds. If you've changed your hairstyle, had recent cosmetic surgery, grew a beard, or are wearing heavy makeup or sunglasses, the system might not recognize you. And when it doesn't, you're flagged for secondary screening. Just ask the woman at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson who missed her flight because her new hairstyle no longer matched her passport photo. The AI couldn't confirm her identity. And instead of cruising to her gate, she was pulled aside, questioned, and rebooked 5 hours later. But listen to this. It's not just at the gate. AI facial scans are now used at check-in kiosks, security checkpoints, and even at customs. If any match fails along the way, your trip can grind to a halt. What can you do? Update your passport photo if your appearance has changed significantly. Opt out if you're uncomfortable. Yes, in most airports, you can request a manual ID check, but you have to speak up before the scan happens. Biometric boarding is fast until it fails. And in 2025, getting through the airport starts with your face. 2. The 311 rule isn't dead, it's mutating. You know the drill. 3 ounces, 1 quart-size bag, 1 per person, right? Not anymore. Here's the twist. Airports are now rolling out next-generation CT scanners powered by AI. These new machines can peek inside your liquids without needing them removed. Some even allow up to 500 ml containers in select lanes. Sounds amazing, right? But it gets worse. These scanners are not available at every airport, and even when they are, they're not used in every lane. That means if you line up in the wrong queue at JFK, ELAX, or Heathrow, that fancy $80 moisturizer or full-size sunscreen bottle you just packed, it's going straight into the bin. And here's the kicker. Many travelers think the rule is gone because they've passed through without issue in one airport, only to have their stuff tossed at the next. There's no consistency yet. The reason this is happening? TSA hasn't made the tech universal, and agents still follow the old rule if the CT scanner isn't active in your specific line. So, what should you do? Check if your departure and connection airports have CT lanes. If they do, great, but don't risk it. Stick to travel-size containers unless you know for sure you're flying through upgraded lanes. Because in 2025, that relaxing TSA lane can turn ruthless and ruin your trip over a 3.4 Oz bottle of shampoo. 3. Your clothes could get you flagged by AI. Think what's in your bag is the only thing getting scanned? Think again. AI-powered surveillance is now trained to detect anomalies in clothing. That means your outfit, yes, what you're wearing, can trigger red flags at security. It gets crazier. Oversized hoodies, cargo pants with too many pockets, ankle wallets, and even shoes with thick soles can now lead to manual pat-downs or full-body scans. Why? Because the AI flags these as potential concealment risks. And don't even think about metal zippers, layered coats, or jewelry tucked under your shirt. The system doesn't care about your fashion sense. It's looking for patterns that suggest you're hiding something. One traveler at Dallas-Fort Worth was flagged simply because his compression socks set off a layered material warning. He ended up delayed over socks. But listen to this. You don't even get a warning. The system silently flags you, and the next thing you know, you're pulled aside without explanation. Want to breeze through? Here's what savvy travelers do. Wear thin, breathable layers. Avoid excessive hardware like belts, zippers, and chains. Keep your outfit simple, flat, and non-bulky. Because in 2025, your fashion choices aren't just about comfort. They can literally decide if you make your flight on time or get held back. 4. Silent airports are making travelers miss flights. You're at the gate. Headphones in, coffee in hand. You glance up, everything seems fine. But when you look again, your gate is empty. No line, no plane, no announcement. And then it hits you. Your flight left without you. It gets worse. This isn't a rare mistake. It's an intentional shift called silent airport policy, and it's spreading fast. Airports in Zurich, Helsinki, and Kuala Lumpur were some of the first to roll it out. And now, select terminals in major US airports are doing the same. That means no more boarding calls, no last-minute name announcements, and no gate change alerts over the speakers. You're responsible for tracking your own flight. If you miss it because you had your notifications off or forgot to check the screen, tough luck. And yes, people are missing flights while sitting just feet from the gate. But listen to this. It's even worse for families juggling kids, older travelers unfamiliar with app notifications, and passengers navigating foreign airports. No announcements means no margin for error. So what can you do? Download the airport app before you travel, turn on push notifications from both your airline and the airport. Check the gate monitors every 15 minutes, even if your flight is delayed, because in a silent terminal, no one's coming to get you. If your flight boards early or moves 3 gates down, you'll only know if you're watching. And in 2025, watching is the only way to avoid missing your flight. 5. Smart bags could get left behind. You finally invested in that slick smart suitcase. Built-in USB charger, GPS tracker, TSA-approved lock, all set to travel smarter, right? Not quite. Because in 2025, smart bags are under strict new scrutiny, and if yours doesn't follow the latest rules, it could get banned before it even boards. Here's the deal. If your bag's lithium battery is built in and non-removable, airlines won't let you check it in, or even bring it on board in some cases. Doesn't matter if it's off. Doesn't matter how new it is. The reason this is happening? A mid-air incident in South Korea involving a power bank fire triggered international concern. U.S. carriers like Southwest, American, and JetBlue responded by tightening enforcement on battery-powered devices, especially ones stored in overhead bins or cargo holds. It gets crazier. Even premium brands like Anker had to recall over 1 million power banks after fire risks surfaced. If trusted names are being pulled, imagine how quickly off-brand models will get flagged, or worse, confiscated. So what should you do? Only travel with smart bags that have clearly labeled removable batteries. Carry the battery in your personal item, not your checked luggage. Pack a fireproof battery sleeve if you want to go the extra mile. Check the watt-hour rating. Anything over 160 banned completely. Because if you show up with a bag that doesn't comply, no amount of pleading with the gate agent will help. Your suitcase will stay behind even if your plane doesn't. 6. Surprise bag weigh-ins at the gate are back. You've passed the check-in counter, you're walking to your gate, relaxed, carry-on in hand. Everything's good. Until an airline staff member suddenly pulls out a luggage scale. You've been randomly selected for a surprise gate-side bag check. This isn't a rumor. It's a full-blown policy return. Budget airlines like Ryanair, EasyJet, and Spirit have revived aggressive enforcement of carry-on weight limits. And if your bag is even 1 pound over, you'll either pay a fee on the spot or be forced to check it in, often for double or triple what you would have paid earlier. But that's not all. Some airlines have even been accused of targeting specific travelers, solo flyers, digital nomads, or anyone with bulky tech gear. The reason this is happening? Airlines are monetizing last-minute luggage violations to pad revenue. And it works. Because when you're seconds from boarding, most people just pay up to avoid missing their flight. Here's what savvy travelers are doing. Store heavy items. Chargers, books, power banks. In jacket pockets. Your coat isn't weighed. Use ultralight bags that don't eat into your weight limit. Double-check carry-on rules before booking, especially for budget carriers. Because in 2025, passing the check-in counter doesn't mean you're safe. Your real luggage check might come just steps before the jet bridge and cost you more than your plane ticket. 7. TSA is scanning your devices for heat, not just security. You shut down your laptop, you place it neatly in your bag. You think you're good, but the moment it goes through screening, it gets flagged. Why? Because TSA isn't just looking at x-rays anymore. They're scanning your electronics for heat. It gets crazier. New thermal imaging scanners installed in US airports can detect overheating devices, even if they're turned off. If your laptop, phone, or power bank gets hot too fast during idle time, it'll raise a red flag. And this isn't just for suspicious devices. One gamer flying out of JFK had his $2,000 custom laptop pulled because the graphics card stayed hot from pre-flight gaming. He missed his flight, all because TSA scanners detected an unusual heat signature. But listen to this. Even brand new factory-sealed devices can trigger these alerts if they've been charging too long in your backpack or left in sleep mode. So what's the fix? Fully power down all electronics, not sleep mode. Let them cool for 30+ minutes before screening. Keep power banks outside of tight pockets or cases where heat builds up. Don't charge your devices on the way to the airport, because in 2025, your gear isn't just being scanned, it's being thermally evaluated. And if the sensors don't like what they see, you're not boarding until your tech cools down. 8. Exit face scans are quietly tracking your immigration history. You've made it through security. Your bags are checked. You're finally boarding an international flight and breathing easy. But just before you leave the country, there's one last thing. A camera scans your face. This isn't just a photo op. In 2025, U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, has fully rolled out biometric exit tracking at major international terminals, including JFK, Miami, and LAX. Here's why this matters. That final scan is now logged against your visa, passport, and immigration history. If it fails, or you skip it, the system might not record that you've actually left the country. And here's the kicker. If your exit isn't recorded, you could be flagged as an overstayer, even if you followed all the rules. Which means next time you fly back to the US, you might be denied entry without warning. But that's not all. Most travelers don't realize that biometric exit systems operate quietly, without a big sign or explanation. If the scan fails or glitches, it's on you to make sure it's corrected. Pro tip? Ask an agent to confirm your departure was logged if your scan feels rushed or interrupted, because once you've left the terminal, it's too late to fix your immigration record. In 2025, leaving the country is now part of your digital footprint, and even that last glance at a screen could decide your next trip's fate. 9. Flying solo? You might be quietly paying more. You booked a weekend getaway, just you, a carry-on, and a window seat. But the ticket price feels off. You check again. That same flight is cheaper when booked for 2. Wait, what? It gets sneakier. Some major airlines, including Delta, American, and United, have quietly tested accompanied travel pricing models. In plain English, you pay more if you're flying alone. No announcement, no warning, just a subtle pricing shift based on how many passengers are in your booking. And the reason this is happening? It's algorithmic. Airlines are experimenting with ways to discourage solo travel, assuming pairs are more likely to check bags, spend on upgrades, or stay loyal to brands. But listen to this. Some travelers reported that booking 2 tickets under the same reservation, even if not seated together, bypassed the solo surcharge entirely. Others found that the price dropped simply by switching browsers or using private mode. It's like airline pricing is a game of hide and seek, and if you're not watching closely, you're the one who gets played. Here's what to do. Search ticket prices for 1 and 2 passengers before booking. Use incognito or private mode to avoid targeted pricing. Book with a friend or relative, even if you're not flying together. Compare the final price breakdown before clicking purchase, because in 2025, traveling solo might cost you extra, and the only way to beat it is to spot it before they do. 10. Real ID is finally non-negotiable. It's been delayed for years, but now it's real. As of May 7th, 2025, the Real ID Act is officially enforced, and travelers across the US are learning the hard way. You can't board a domestic flight without a compliant ID. Here's how it works. If your driver's license doesn't have a gold or black star in the top corner, TSA doesn't consider it valid anymore, even if it hasn't technically expired, even if you've used it to fly dozens of times before. And here's the part catching people off guard. Thousands of travelers are still showing up with non-compliant IDs, only to be stopped cold at the security checkpoint. Some are rerouted to get their passport. Others miss their flight entirely. But it gets worse. Many states have massive backlogs for Real ID renewals. So if you think you can get it last minute, think again. In places like New York and California, DMV appointments are booked out for weeks. So what do? Check your ID today. Look for the star in the top corner. If it's missing, schedule a real ID appointment immediately. If you're traveling soon, use a valid US passport instead. TSA prefers it. Don't assume they'll let it slide. They won't. Because in 2025, there are no more grace periods. No compliant ID, no flight, no exceptions. This isn't just air travel, it's survival mode. Let's recap. In 2025, your face is your ticket. Your outfit can trigger AI. Your smart bag might get grounded, your charger can get flagged, and even your solo travel plans can cost you extra. We're not flying like it's 2020 anymore. We're flying in a hyper-connected, AI-monitored, biometric tracked, zero margin for error environment. But here's the good news. Now you know. You know how to dress. You know what to pack. You know which app to download, what ID to bring, and when to double-check your gate every 15 minutes in a silent terminal. You've just become the most informed passenger in line. So before your next trip, do yourself and your sanity a favor. Recheck your ID. Watch your luggage weight like a hawk. Let your devices cool down. Skip the no-name power bank. And for the love of travel, don't assume the rules are the same as last year, because they're not. If this video just saved you a missed flight, a TSA fine, or a $150 surprise luggage fee, hit that like button. Share this with your travel buddy. Subscribe for more no-nonsense updates on what the airlines aren't telling you. And hey, what's the wildest airport rule or surprise you've faced lately? Drop your story in the comments. I read everyone. See you in the next one. And this time, with a real ID and a removable battery bag. Stay sharp, travel smart, and welcome to flying in 2025.